Hi, today we have the first educational lesson for those of you who would like to start trading on US stock exchanges. This is an introduction to better understand how the platform works, what I pay attention to, and generally how to look at the level 2 window and time and sales. This is the window you can see here. This is the level 2 window. So on it, you generally see all pending orders in the market depth. Here I have the market depth, a bit larger. It's the second window on the side. This is the time and sales transaction window. These are basically the two main windows that interest you and that I will discuss today. I make all my position opening decisions based on them. Additionally, of course, a chart, but when it comes to my purely trading approach, it's thanks to these two windows that I see, let's call it, more of what's happening in the company than if I were only looking at the chart and assessing it, for example, from the perspective of technical analysis or any other method you might come up with. Starting here with what is most important in such a window, there will be a second part where I will discuss a bit about ECNs and how they change during pre-market and later session hours. However, now we still have the early pre-market, so only 2 ECNs are available at this hour. And here we have ARCA and NASDAQ. Each color you see here, meaning yellow, then green, blue, red, and a darker blue. That's pink, or maybe it's violet, no? More pink, right? So we have each successive price level, that is the current best orders in sequence, bid 11.70, then the next lower 11.58, 11.55, 11.52, 11.51, and so on. This book later fills up when the trading hours start. Now in the second part of the window we see sell orders. The best selling price at the moment is 11.97, then it's 11.80, 11.89, 11.90, 11.95, and so on. So every color represents a new price level. I always have 3 columns here, but I don't know why a fourth one got added. Maybe when I was adjusting the window something must have happened. I always have 3 columns here that are interesting to me. The first is maker, meaning the order is placed on some ECN. I will describe ECNs in more detail in another recording as it matters. How we position ourselves, after which we fill in. Price and size of shares. I have the size of shares reduced from 20, so if I see 4 somewhere, it means there are 400 shares. If 1, it is 100 shares. If 2, 200 shares. If 4, 400 shares. If 22,200 shares, and so on. The same applies to the offer side. And now, how does this relate to what we see on the time and sales window? Here you really need to understand the specifications, find out what certain letters mean. So for example, if I see P here, so I know that P is ARCA. If it's Q, then I know it went to NASDAQ, and so on. These letters increase because if more ECNs are activated after 8, they appear in the level 2 window. For example, EDGX or NASDAQBOSX or EDGA. Now later, after 3:30 in the afternoon when the session opens, a specialist appears. Dark pools also appear, which are generally all those letters can be learned in the specifications and then observed. It's easy to learn this because then we know which order corresponds to which letter on this window. So here I've already moved to the time and sales window, where what interests me, this is the price at which the order was filled. The size, although here I don't reduce it by 200, so if it's 397, that means it's 397 shares. If 100, then it's 100 shares, and the market at which it went. Additionally, if you follow my other recordings, I have another window on the side, and on this window I pay attention only to larger prints. A minimum order set from 2,000 shares, which is being filled. Depending on the price, it has a different value, because if, let's say, the company is worth $100 and a print of 1,000 shares is filled. So we know that someone entered with one transaction of 100,000. If it were 10, then someone entered with 1,000,000. And this is significant for me in terms of analyzing key levels and prints, but maybe I won't get into that specifically today. Anyway, you would probably find my recording on YouTube about large orders and how I play them and what significance they have for me. However, as I showed here, these are two key windows, which is level 2, which at the moment is quite simple, as you can see. It is simply a quotation window and a time and sales window. This is especially the foundation worth starting from to study the specifications of which ECN is which. This letter here on the time and sales window, because sometimes there is a spread, and after the spread, for example, orders are only filled from the letter P, that is from ARCA. And then you just know that it would be better to set up with ARCA in that spot, because you can close the order faster and exit with a profit, for instance. So these are the things worth paying attention to here. In the next recording, I will briefly present to you the differences between individual books. So you have clarity on how it changes in the pre-market, how it changes before, let's say, to 8 a.m., from 8 a.m. To 9:30 a.m. after 9:30 a.m. And likewise how it looks in the post-market, which is after 4 p.m. And at the same time, so it looks if you have accessed the first level of price, and how it changes if you only have access to, if we turned everything off and you only purchased the first level of price, you would see as little as is visible here. This changes things quite a bit. When we add other books, you can see much more if you have access to the depth. But I will get back to this in the next recording. I'll expand your knowledge a bit. If any questions arise in the meantime, put them in the comments, and I will simply develop what might be useful for you in the next recording. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.